And what do we have here today that you want to discuss? I have no idea of what the actual questions are. Hopefully they don't have anything to do with sexuality or something like that. These are all business related questions.
None of them are.
None of them are business?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
This is just an interview. And so these are going to be some hot questions, but I know you can handle them. And so you're known a lot as a photographer, and you help women find themselves on top of it. So I'm going to separate the photography and the video aside a little bit. But so the very first question I have here is, some people would say, you have been married 4 times. Why should I take relationship advice from you?
Someone with an actual experience in life experience, they've been through it. They've actually, had the ups and downs, the decision-making process. In order to make a good decision, you need information to be able to do that. An individual without information has a more difficult time understanding what he should do, what's going to work and what's not going to work. So experience. You don't want some person practicing brain surgery, operating on your brain that has only heard from his buddies what it's like.
That's a good one. Okay. So some may argue that your previous marriages or divorces indicate a pattern of repeating mistakes. How have you learned from your past experiences, and what actions have you taken to break free from these patterns, or what have changed?
Going back to the first question of having more information, now I have the ability to go back and look at the patterns that were wrong. And a lot of people like to put themselves in the driver's seat on who's doing right or wrong. But, after being in this situation 4 times previous, I had a chance to kind of look at that maybe it might be me that also needs some growing and stuff like that. And the first thing that I noticed is that we're not as intelligent as we think we are. What we think we want, what we think we need, I found out that is not true. And I see a lot of people, I want this and I need this. And if I had that, if I had all these things that if they think, what you think is not a reality. A thought is basically something that makes you feel good on the inside. But if you don't have any practical experience, you're going to keep choosing the things that probably don't best fit you. So what I found out throughout, my escapades, I want to say, is that I really didn't know what I wanted. And if I would have been when you and I met, if I would have been in the same mindset as I was before my first marriage, you and I would be together, and, we fit really well together.
So if you go back on your previous marriages and divorces, how has those experiences shaped your view on love and commitment?
Not only looking back at my previous marriages and how it affects me today, the reason I'm in the business that I'm in, ladies retreats and dealing with a lot of ladies, is because there was a lot of questions that I needed answers to. Having information from 4 women wasn't enough, because all these 4 women kind of wanted the same thing from me. And
which was what?
Wanted me to make them happy. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to come in and, they wanted, in order for them to keep the marriage going, they needed this, they needed that. Mm-hmm. And then I spent, a majority of my time trying to figure out how to make them happy. And that's like, a drug addict trying to look for that high. As soon as I thought,
never ever get
as soon as I thought I heard and did what I said, what they said, they moved on to the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. I could never keep up. Then it gets to the point where I'm like, you know what, forget this. And then this is when I went astray. This is when I start, infidelity kicked in. This is when I started looking for happiness everywhere else. And I justify that in my head by, you know what, they don't care about me. But then when I did that, oh, wait a second here. You need to do also this for me too. You need to allow me not to, cater to your needs. You need to also stick around and be miserable for me as well to make me happy.
Cheating, infidelity can be hard on people. So how did you navigate the aftermath of infidelity in your relationships? What steps did you take? How did you maneuver it?
How during the marriage or afterward?
Okay, you can mention both. What was the aftermath when the person would find out? Let's start with that. How did you maneuver through it? How did you work through it?
First marriage, second marriage, didn't let him know. Second marriage, actually the third marriage, she didn't know. I didn't care anymore. I didn't try to fix it, But the fourth marriage, I really wanted to work because, we planned on having kids and everything was planned. I wanted it to work. So I remember asking, I feel lonely in this marriage. I need more intimacy. We need to work on this. And that was basically left up to me to fix.
So what was her response?
And her response was that, your mother, you have mommy issues. Maybe that's why you need to have more affection and things like that. So I basically said, you know what? If you don't want to go get help and you relying on me, don't get angry at me if I'm out there if someone else comes in and does it. It's on you. And I went into a relationship for almost 3 years with someone else. And that someone else knocked on my door one day, had a little wine, knocked on the door, and, my ex answered the door and she had a present to give me. And my ex took the present, gave it to me and said, we need to go see counseling now.
Wow. So that made a difference.
It made a difference. It basically, speech is nothing more than the translation of an emotion. If you don't feel that you have problems, there might not be a huge sense of urgency to make something work. Asking the question prior to that. Her being in the situation, seeing it going on, all of a sudden her emotions change. Now she wants to try to fix it. Now she has motivation. So that taught me in that relationship that, a lot of discussion is not going to help sometimes. You need to put yourself in a position to draw emotions in good ways. For example, if an individual is not responsive to your needs, you need to find a way to make them. I'm not saying cheating or something like that, finding a way to make them feel that you're being neglected, whatever that is.
Or somebody else is showing you affection.
Or someone else is, showing you affection. You have to, this is what I learned, that, I can have a conversation on Tuesday and get one answer, have a conversation on Wednesday and get another answer. So why am I having a conversation? It's a moving target. But if I don't have that conversation, I get blamed for not listening.
Stop being a man, isn't it?
No. I'm going to answer that question. When you understand who you are, when you understand the reality of what's going on, when you understand, how to listen to emotions and not to words, life becomes a lot easier. If like this morning, we had a huge argument this morning, and I listened to you say things that I know didn't pertain to me. This wasn't something that I had responsibility for. Now, it's up to me to be able to say, you know what? She's not really talking to me now. So it's probably not conducive for me to have a conversation and react on this right now, because this conversation we're having at 9 a.m. is going to be a different conversation at 10 a.m.
It's almost 11, yeah.
Oh, well, it was 10.
Yeah. Okay. So, as a pretty famous photographer in the beauty industry, you've had the opportunity to photograph some of the most beautiful women, right? How has working with them influenced your perception of femininity, what's feminine and beauty, and what's a woman in today's world? Because things have changed. So let's say, for example, you shoot most beautiful women, and what's your perception of them, of the because people think the most beautiful woman is the most feminine. Is that true? And what is feminine?
Feminine has two different lives. There's the version that women carry, and then there's the version that men carry. And today, a lot of men are now standing up and making people listen, to their version. And women are just not wanting to hear what a man has to say about femininity. But it's the man who is attracted to it. It's the man who says, I like this. I want this woman to bear my children. This woman makes me feel. That's his decision. For some reason, women have taken that responsibility of telling a man what he should like and not like.
What do you think that reason is? Why are women responding that way?
Because a lot of women have made the wrong decisions. A lot of women have a high body count. A lot of women are, fighting against what a man likes. If a man says, I want a woman who can come to my world and get on my program and help me be a better person, because this world is hard. A man doesn't really gain respect until he's in his late 30s, early late 30s, because he has to be established. He has to, have an income. He has to look a certain way. All these stipulations for him to look good, and be respected in this world, he has to work for. Where women are on easy mode, man, they, when they turn 18 and legal, men are like, got a stopwatch there. When that girl turns 18, it's like, woof, they're all over that girl, and she's done nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Her value is just there. And she goes out there, and these men are trying to find this girl because she's still, for lack of better words, moldable, teachable, because she doesn't have a lot of bad experiences. She doesn't know all the wrong things, which is bad, which a lot of women try to overcome by experiencing a lot of men. But once you experience a lot of men, you have a lot of negativity that you can use for judgment. Remember, women are controlled by their emotions. And if you make the wrong decision with a bunch of wrong men and you get pissed off by men, you're mad at men. It's very difficult coming back from being angry at men because you don't know anything. And then when these women start looking, they seem to always go to the same spot, the same man. And most women are looking at, the top 1 to 5% is what they want. Mm-hmm. And these women, who are beautiful, they really believe that they're 10. They really believe that they are Beyonce level. If Beyonce is a 10, these women think they're a 10 as well. And when you confront them about that, they're like, it doesn't matter. If Beyonce thinks she's a 10, then she can be a 10. If I think I'm a 10, I can be a 10.
But hold on. I think there's also a deeper issue. They compare themselves with the looks to Beyonce, but they say, I'm not gonna be at Beyonce's levels and allow the man treat me that way. Where I'm going with that is Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce and Beyonce stayed because he's a high value. Because he's a high value man.
Women
and everybody
date up.
Exactly.
Women date up.
So these women say, man, if I find out this man is cheating on me, I'm done. He's gone. But then they say I'm a 10, just like Beyonce.
So, for example, a man's working at McDonald's and a woman has a 6-figure job. There's absolutely no way in hell she's going to give that guy flipping burgers a chance. Mm-hmm. A man sees a beautiful girl who's flipping burgers. He will absolutely take her and make her life better. Mm-hmm. Men are all about taking care of and making life better and raising his tribe. Women are not designed to raise a tribe. So what a lot of women are doing in this new feminine world, look, our grandparents Our grandmothers didn't have 15, 20 male friends hanging around them. They did not. They did not. And a lot of women are pissed off at their grandparents saying times have changed and I will never be like that and I'm going to have all the friends I want to.
Just yesterday you were listening to a podcast that you usually listen to, and these young two girls were laughing and saying, almost talking like about prehistoric times, saying that there's actually still women out there who live and think they need a man. And it was shocking to them.
And they were laughing. And the thing about that is that you can't talk to them. Because a woman's reality is what she thinks and believes it is. And all of her girlfriends, because women are very narcissistic, they're going to look for a group of people that are going to back up what they're thinking. So they'll go out and find a bunch of girls who are going to tell them this. Oh, you go, girl, you a 10. And this girl is overweight. She's a size 18, 19, 22, and she's overweight. You're beautiful, you know. And when you ask the girl who's a size 2, who just said her girlfriend's a 10 and she's beautiful, would you switch places with her?
Yeah.
And they won't.
I get where you're going.
So basically, people are saying things to other people just for the fact that they want to be friends with them and make themselves look good. So they're not saying it to the benefit of that person. They're saying it only to the benefit. Selfishness. Selfish reasons are they agreeing to that person. That's it. There's nothing real about it. And men see.
I'm going to jump back a little bit back into your past relationships. How do you address the pain and emotional consequences caused by your past actions for yourself and for the people? For example, there are kids involved, right? So how do you address the consequences of what happened in your past? Like, you two are no longer together. So what's going on at home? What are the kids thinking and what goes on at home? First of all, let me ask you, what is the consequence of your divorce? Was your divorce caused by cheating? Or how would you verbalize what your divorce was caused by?
Differences of opinions. You know, the values of an individual, my values and what I wanted to do were not the same as hers. And her values were something that, you know, I thought I agreed to, but after a while, it became very difficult for me to actually, you know, live up to those. And I didn't feel like I was being respected and she didn't feel like she was being respected. So the consequences of that was, you know, her basically saying, you know what, I'm done because I want X, Y, and Z. And we split. A lot of women believe they can raise boys. They raise boys to the things that they want. You know, I can see my boys being taught by someone who basically, you know, didn't respect what I was doing.
Are you saying your boys are not, you would like them to be raised a little differently? Is that what you're saying?
I would like my boys to have a relationship with me.
And they don't?
And they don't. And, you know, it's not their fault. You know, they're boys. They don't, you know, I'm the adult in this situation. I should be able to figure out a way to do that. But I don't believe that sending an email, calling, you know, on the phone does anything. A lot of women are going to be mad at that, but I'm an emotional guy. I want to be there next to my boys. I want to feel this is the way that I speak. This is my way. And when we split up and I was leaving, you know, there are plenty of men out there that have relationships with their boys and they do it remotely. And when I heard that, I was like, there's absolutely no way that works. It can't. But in her eyes, in her belief, that was a reality. That was a reality for her. And so it justified the breaking up of us because in her mind, she really believed that was so. And it's not. And I knew it wasn't going to be. So it was real hard for me, you know, going my way. But, you know, I've been there before. 4 previous marriages. My youngest daughter now, her and I are the best of friends. We're thick as thieves. And time is my best friend. Hopefully I can get my medical situation done, because they're going to come around. They will come around. One thing that I noticed in this world, when you do something that is very powerful, when you create a world stage like you and I are doing, it puts you in a different category of respect. So anything that was told to them previously, if I do something that they look up to, that is going to be the emotional bond that we're going to have at that point when they realize that, you know what? I'm proud of that motherfucker.
What would you like your boys to know about you?
That I'm a very driven person, very driven. I have a passion for something that can't be controlled by me or anyone else. I will drive myself to death going after that dream, what I'm looking for. And I see that in my boys, and I just want them to understand that of who I am is a part of them. It was a part of their uncle. It was a part of their grandfather. It was a part of their mother. We all have it. It's a part of my daughter. We all have that spirit in us. Now, that's hereditary. They're not going to be able to shake that. So one day when they realize that, I hope they come to me and say, okay, it hit me. Help me navigate. What are your dreams? Where do you want to go? What's your motivation?
My dreams are aligning with yours. We have certain goals of where we want our business to go. And I'm just trying to get there while we're trying to navigate through the healthcare system here with your health.
So what do you say to a woman who says, why come you can't have your own goals? Why are you following his goals? Are you crazy? I see you all over the internet. You be your own. You go, girl. Do your own thing. You don't need a man for that. What do you tell them?
I had my goals all the way until I was 37, and they nearly killed me. I thought I'd give it a try to go a different route, and I found myself being a lot happier. And I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but this is my passion. This is my dream life. Doing what you do.
How does it affect you?
How it affects me is like, it makes me feel powerful. I have people looking up to me. I have people feeling inspired by me, motivated by me. They follow me for my story because it helps them feel stronger or navigate through life easier, And
you can't do that by yourself. How come you as a woman can't do that?
How come you as a woman cannot do that?
Yeah, you wanted that all your life, basically, or you didn't know you wanted that.
I did. I thought I was fine by myself. I was, I was one of these women all the way up until 37. I'm 44 now, screaming, I don't need a man. I'm fine. My son is 25 years old now, and his father chose not to be in his life, but even when I was raising him by myself, I always said, I don't need a man. I'm fine. I'm okay. And I tried. To be honest, my son was raised so wrong. I messed up in every way possible.
How? Give me an example.
He didn't. I tried to be his best friend. That's not what a man needs. When a boy that's growing up, he doesn't need a best friend. I tried to be his friend. The language that was not appropriate.
No consequences for bad actions?
No. Because I started using, I started drinking, I started going out. My son dropped out of school. Yeah, I was doing whatever I wanted.
Would things be different if a man was in the house that you cared about?
100%. But I wouldn't have met you either. If I didn't take the steps that I did and the path that I did, I wouldn't be, I reached out to you. I was so desperate. I saw something. I saw a hope with what you were doing. You know, I saw something that gave me a little ray of maybe I should make my way there.
What was
I didn't
that?
know what was waiting. I had no idea. I didn't know what was waiting on the other side. I just had this strong pull to go. And
that was one of those situations where, you know, if I would have met you in a public setting, some type of function, there's no way that we could have, the way you are and the way I am, I'm very driven. I'm very hard-headed.
And I
so
used to be the biggest bitch. Like, I mean, if I would have met you and you would have corrected me on something, I would have showed you the middle finger and said, who do you think you are?
I get that a lot. I get that a
Yeah.
lot. Women, you know, women will say, well, I'm empowered, you know, and I'm like, okay, how come you like doing X? Why are you not doing X? You know, why are you telling me that you're not going to do it because of what people would think, or you won't get approval, but you're empowered? How can you be empowered and when you're allowing others to control what you do? And they get angry, and they also equate
They
that
get
to a man.
angry because you catch them in their own lies.
But then they
A
also
delusion.
can't change the fact that, you know, that's why they say they don't need a man, because they don't want to be controlled.
Yes,
You know,
that's a good one.
and you know they conflate those two together, and these are two different things, because a woman is an individual that comes. Women who have a lot of men, they think they have a lot of options to get
and
married.
they want to keep these options.
And they want to keep these options. So they look for the man that every other woman wants. So all the men that women look at and they actually like is because they're successful. They're meeting all the requirements that they say they would like to see in a man. And then when they see all those, but every other woman wants to see that as well. So they go out with a man and they're used to giving their bodies to men without a commitment or relationship. So these top tier men, they go out and they give their bodies to them. But these men have options because all the women are chasing them. So when you talk about cheating, I throw it straight in the lap of women, because women control access. If you're not getting raped, you know, which is horrible, which they should go to jail and women should report that. If you're not being raped, in a lot of cases it's not.
If you're opening your legs on your own and giving them access.
And you're doing that, and so are 15, 20 other women doing that. Why is he going to be faithful to you? Because men are all about spreading a seed. And women are all about taking care of that seed. All he wants to do is spread. That's it. A man,
And it seems like all they do is spreading.
that's all they do. That's
No, the women.
That's it. A woman wants a man to be faithful, and the faithful man is in their friend zone. He's the guy who's coming to them, you know, giving them money when they need it, taking them to dinner, and you know, shopping and bailing them out. And that's the guy you should marry. But
Getting chicken nuggets for your kids.
for your kids, take care of your kids.
I used to do that.
Lord have mercy, that's horrible. But see, the thing is that this man is doing everything that she wants that top tier man to do. They don't respect that man. But that same girl who's calling herself a 10 and should have that top tier man is actually a 4. And the guy that's giving chicken McNuggets is a 6. But she has placed herself in a position to not even, you know, see him as a viable option. And he's doing everything. But the sad thing is that these women who don't need a man raise these men.
Okay, so let's close it on a good one. I heard it somewhere and I loved it. So the woman said, so if I sleep around and I'm a whore, what does that make you?
A whore maker.
Nice interview. Thank you.
You're welcome.